We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. F it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nintendo Talk Live. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru. Today, I am joined by the coolest dude in all of video games, Jools Watsham.
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Not much. I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Today is a release day, so that's always a
today's a wonderful day for you.
Bag of emotions, but it's a good day.
Today's an exciting day and all that stuff in your world.
Yep.
Man, it's got to be like just relief, right? Like it's off your shoulders and.
No, definitely. That is a huge part of it. Is just the feeling of it's done, it's out. But there's a wealth of worry here that still comes with it.
Well, now you're in a different ball game at this point. Now it's like, hey, is this actually going to sell? Is this actually going to perform? You know.
But it does feel good though. It feels like not really like one of your kids or whatever, but it does feel like something that you created is out there now, and it's out, it's done. There's no going back, and there is definitely a sense of satisfaction for sure. That comes with that.
Real quick, I just want to say hello to some people that are in the chat. We got RC Cola here, Super Gamer, what is up? Russ Derricott is here. My wife Tony is here. The Fifth Sam Banks is here. Matt
Ms.
Knight,
Guru.
Yes, Miss Guru. Joey Splats is here, and Hoshway Ponce from Ninmobile News is here.
I recognize a lot of those names from our Splatfest.
Yes, our little splats that we have.
Which is awesome.
My wife said congratulations on the release today, Jules.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Let's see where we are at. So real quick, guys, I didn't do, and I'm not doing a Nintendo Talk today. I just wanted to, I'm going to sit down with Jules. We're going to actually go through the news together, the top Nintendo stories.
We're just hanging out.
Yeah, we're just hanging out.
Talking Nintendo.
Exactly.
Nintendo Talk.
Exactly. So I'm going to... I'm gonna pull some of those out and all that. Rybo Flavins is here. What is up, Rybo? Rybo's probably killed you a few times, right?
Oh, I'm sure all of your friends have. I always have the lowest score. I mean, I love it. I'm not complaining. I have such a good time playing with everyone.
Yeah.
All of you guys. But I always. Sometimes I get one above the lowest score. Sometimes, but that's always a magical moment for me. That's always the lowest score. It's never an embarrassing score.
Yeah.
You guys are so good that you're like way above. It's crazy.
We play all the time.
It's super fun though.
Some of us aren't making video games. You know what I mean? Like some of us just have no lives essentially, and are just.
I have no excuse, but it's fun.
Okay, so here's some stories that I want to go through. The first story I want to talk about is Splatoon 2 edition of Nintendo Switch is announced, and it's actually up for pre-order now. It's exclusive retailer for Walmart only. So
that's interesting.
Here's the first question: do you think these pre-orders will actually stick, or do you think they're gonna get rejected like the
oh my gosh,
the SNES Mini Classic?
No, I would imagine this is different.
Yeah, I think this is different.
Yeah, I think the Mini Classics are just such a limited, special creation that it's just retailers are like, what is this weird, unique thing I can't count on?
Yeah, so
it's like a Furby, it comes in, goes out, it's done.
Exactly. They announced
I think it's great.
So they announced it today. It's about $378, if I'm not mistaken. It comes with a digital code for Splatoon 2. I also believe it comes with a carrying case for it as well.
That's kind of expensive. So
if you figure if it comes with the game,
Switch is $300.
Switch is $300.
The game is what? 50 or 60?
The game is 60.
60.
And then the carrying case. And then the carrying case. So they're not cutting you any breaks. But it comes with
$349. There would be a sweet price.
It'd be perfect. It'd be perfect.
I mean, because then you kind of incentive to get the bundle.
Yeah.
Rather than I'm just going to buy a Switch and the game in a case.
Yeah.
Separately.
Yeah.
I mean, usually you want to get a lower price. Anyway, that's the way I look at it. Anyway, I want it to be a deal kind of thing. But whatever.
You want it to be like you're getting something out of the deal. You know what I mean? Like
otherwise, why not just buy them separately? We could all do.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. The one thing, the one bonus, I guess that it is, it's coming with the color Joy-Cons. So it's coming with the Splatoon color Joy-Cons.
Nice.
Is
the Switch different? Do they have any decals or anything on there? Or
no, it's just the Switch. The Switch is the same. Hostway just said it's about the same price as if you were getting everything individually and bundled together. So the price is it's a reasonable price. You're paying the same for everything. This is basically let's be honest. This is for a Splatoon lover. You're gonna buy all this stuff in one shot and
it's not even like for the casual player. It's for the enthusiast that's probably already bought a Switch. Probably already has Splatoon.
Like us, like idiots like us that are
special edition or whatever. Or has the Wii U and hasn't jumped in yet. Maybe
that's true. That's true. Okay, so the
very exciting, regardless.
That is exciting.
Bundles.
The only thing that kind
of in the day, like.
Go ahead.
So go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You got it.
I just remember back in the day, like when I grew up, it was the Commodore Amiga and the Atari ST, like there were computers in Europe.
Yeah.
That we got, and I loved it when they released like the Batman bundle, and the box was all black, and it had the cool kind of Michael Keaton style Batman logo of the time, and it had the Batman game in there and a bunch of stuff. It was awesome. You're like, oh, that's so cool, and they had all that kind of stuff. I love that. I love bundles.
Exactly.
Such a level of excitement with that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. It's
kind of gone to the wayside, which is a real shame.
It has. It's a little different. You know, they're just not. It's all kind of going like when I got my PS4, my Arkham Knight PS4. That was the only reason I bought it. Like I was like on the fence for a while about the PS4. Yeah. Arkham Knight was coming. I was like, you know what? I'm going to hold out because I have a feeling they're going to do a special edition, and they did, and I jumped all over it, man. Yeah. But it's kind of it's weak sauce, man.
We got the Halo Xbox One, which is it Halo One? I think it is, which is pretty sweet because it has a really cool sound effect when you turn it on and off. Yeah, it has an amazing. Is it Halo? No, maybe it's not Halo, but I don't know. Maybe it's not. No, I think it is. It is. It has the blue kind of controller. It has an awesome sound effect when you turn it on and off. And then we bought the Master Chief additional Xbox One controller. It was like, yeah,
that's awesome. Nice. I almost bought the Star Wars one, the Battlefront one, because it had. And I was going to buy the Star Wars one.
Is it white or black?
It's black, right? It's Darth Vader edition. The controller is black, and the buttons are colored like Vader's chest plate.
Like the things he has.
Yeah,
there.
Man,
awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
but
cool.
I was like, I just spent $400 at that point. I was like, I'm not spending another $400. Sorry, Sony.
For those that don't know, actually, Target every year has this special deal. And it just reminded me because we took advantage of it when we got the Xbox One. If your iPhone or whatever is up for, swapping out, whatever the terminology is, when it's ready to get a new one or whatever.
Upgrade,
yeah. You can go in there. If you do it at Target, and if you do the phone through them, you get a gift card for $250.
Oh wow!
Just simple as that. There's no strings attached.
That's nice.
It may only be with Verizon because that's who we're with. So I don't know what. Carriers do it or whatever. But it's a Target thing. We did it last year or 2 years ago whenever the Xbox One was out. It was awesome, dude.
That's nice.
And that's what we used it towards getting the Xbox One. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
I'm on the fence of an S or an X. Because I'm going to get an Xbox this year, but I'm just on the fence. At first I was like, I'm getting an X. I don't care, I'm going to get it. And then I started thinking, I was like, well, you know what, man? What if I really don't like it? And I just dropped $500. So I should probably just get the S, and then be happy with that. Okay, so the next.
So what is the S in comparison to Xbox?
Well, the S is just a little bit. The S is basically the original Xbox, except for you can play in 4K.
Okay, yeah.
And then I
think the 4K stuff. Right?
Yeah, and it's smaller. It's slim. It's a little bit smaller.
Oh, nice.
And all that stuff. So we'll see. Cool. I don't know.
That's just kind of huge. Yeah.
I'm still up in the air with it. Okay, so Batman Telltale is now just announced yesterday that it's coming to the Switch, which me personally I am so hyped about because I held out on this one. I didn't buy it I don't know why I didn't buy it. I know why I didn't buy it. I typically wait for all of the story to be done and complete, and then I buy it. And then I just got so wrapped up in the Switch, I just never went back to go buy it. Like that's what I did with The Walking Dead. Those games are really fun and all that. And when they announced Batman, I was like, I really want to play this. But they announced it for Switch, and I'm like, you know what? I'm jumping on this one.
Nice.
Telltale's a little. Hopefully they eventually work their bugs out a little bit. They're just. It doesn't feel like they have like solid, like just a solid system running. It sometimes you get glitchy and wonky and stuff, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Just announced today. The NPDs just came out. Nintendo outsells PS4 and Xbox One for the month of July, which is huge. You figure they're outselling them with limited quantities hitting the stores. That's pretty impressive.
Did they have numbers?
They didn't. They never do numbers. Okay. They just said it was out. They outsold them.
Interesting.
Also, games-wise, they're out. A lot of it is based off the games. Zelda, Splatoon, and ARMS were the top of the charts for them. So they're just killing it right now. They're clicking on all cylinders, which is really good to see. I know in Japan, Japan is nuts, man. Like, it's just insanity how hard it is to get over there. And I think they've nailed it. Like, Japan, you look at the numbers that are just coming out for the opportunity to buy one of these things. We've reported about it a couple times and stuff, but it's like 3,000 people turned out a couple weeks ago just to enter a raffle to buy one, and they only had 250 in the store. That's nuts. Like, horrible. Could you imagine standing out there all day waiting to buy this raffle ticket, and they're like, "Oh,
so disappointing."
Yeah, like you don't have a chance to win, or you don't have a chance to buy it. This is just a chance to win to get the opportunity. Man, I'd be so livid, man.
Well, it's a good problem for Nintendo to have. They seem to have the same problem. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I guess it's better to do it this way than the other, because otherwise, if they make too many and don't sell them, then they could go bankrupt. You know. So
I think they learned their lesson with the Wii U. You know what I mean? Like the Wii U, I feel like they had a good supply, and it just
that's true. We didn't have the same problem with the Wii U.
No, well, no. But I remember like the first month. Like, it came out. They were hard to get. The first month, like, it was... But then, like, when the restocks hit, it was like, they were just all over the place.
So, it came out... Did it come out in September?
No, it came out, November.
When did it come out?
November it came out. Because my wife bought it for me for Christmas. So, this is a funny story. So, I told my wife I wanted the Wii U. And because of what happened with the Wii, like, it took me 2 years just to get a Wii. And I wound up buying it off eBay and paying $500 for it. Well, she bought it for me for Christmas, and she paid $500 for it. And I was like, I don't want to go through that again. Let's jump on this right away. I want it for Christmas. Your job, go get it. And she is amazing when it comes to this stuff. Like, she buys everything. So she goes to GameStop, and she pre-orders everything. So they have the rewards card or whatever, and, like, you can get points or whatever it is. So,
Power points.
So she goes in there, and the guy goes, do you want me to put it on the power card? And she's like, yeah, sure. So she puts it on my power card. But when they call to pick it up, they call me. Oh, God. They don't call her. What's up? Right?
Oh, so I'm like, of course, yeah.
So I'm like, dude, you got to do me a favor. He's like, what's that? I go, you totally screwed up my Christmas. I'm like, but I'm in a jam here. He goes, what's that? I go, because they were only going to hold it for 48 hours. And I was like, you need to call my wife. So what I need you to do is, this phone call never happened, my man. I don't know nothing about it. You call her and you just do the same spiel you just did to me and act like this never happened. And I won't say nothing.
Did he do it?
He did it. Yeah. He did it. He called her up, went through.
Oh, and
so Christmas morning, I finally divulged Christmas morning, and she was just like, "Oh, what the hell?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry," like. But the funny thing was, the first Christmas we were together, and she's in chat. She can abide to this. She can admit to this. I have this thing where I can guess my Christmas presents, and I do it all the time. Pisses my mom off so bad. My mom gets so mad. When I start doing it, my mom's like, just open the present and stop. You're ruining Christmas. Just stop. So I tell my wife this. We're dating at the time, right? We're just dating at the time. And I tell my wife this, and she's like, whatever. And I'm like, I'm telling you. So she goes, okay, what do you think?
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, challenge accepted. So she's like, she brings the stuff over, right? And she goes, we're standing in my living room, because she brought all the gifts over so Christmas morning she could come to my house. We're sitting there in the living room. She goes, okay, smart ass, what did I get you? And I go, that's a Wii. That's a box with a bunch of games in it. That's some Batman action figures. That's this. Dude, I hit every single one. Every one. She turns around to me and she goes, now she didn't say anything at that point, you know what I mean? But I know she was upset. So then we're out to dinner one night and she goes, okay, what did my mom get you? And I'm like, I'm afraid to say what your mom got me. And I think what your mom got me is way too much. And she just went out of the line. She's out of line with it. So she's like, what do you think she got? I said, I think she bought me a Thomas Kincaid painting of Yankee Stadium. Because he had just done this thing. I had, because what happened was, she had bought me, Kincaid did
so random.
I know, but Kincaid had done a sketch, right?
Okay.
And she bought me the sketch. And her mom knew that I love Thomas Kincaid, and I love the Yankees. So
match made in heaven.
Yeah, so he did this painting. He did this painting, and it was this huge thing. Well, she made the mistake of telling me that they were going down to the local mall because Thomas Kincaid was going to be there signing stuff.
Oh wow!
So I just was like putting it all together, and I was like, "This is what's got to happen. This got to be it." So
have you? I'm sure you've been to his galleries, right? Where they have the
proper
lighting, where they show like his paintings have so much like physical depth because of the thick paint and the so cool.
That's what made me fall in love with him. Was when I went to an actual gallery.
Yeah, it's
amazing, and they were like,
right?
"Look, you turn the light down, and as you turn, it's weird because as you dim the light, the lights in the painting lift up, man. It's like holy." So I fell in love, and like, for a while I was collecting a bunch of them, and we have a few.
That can't be a cheap hobby.
no, and that's why I don't do it no more because it's just it's like video games or Thomas Kincaid painting, especially now that he passed away. You know, them things are through the roof now.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I remember we went to a gallery. I think it was is it La Jolla? Is that where it was from?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds.
I want to guess, maybe.
Yeah.
I think we saw one there where it had a bunch of his stuff, and it was like, man, so good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was years ago. Gosh. Anyway.
So last story we're going to jump into just before we. That's okay. Last story we jump into before we get into the Jools Watsham story. Next Minecraft update will allow players to transfer their worlds from the Wii U to the Nintendo Switch, which I think is pretty. I think that's pretty cool. I like the fact that they are allowing you.
I wonder how you do that.
I don't know. That's kind of strange, right? I guess you. You know what? That's a weird thing. You know what? I didn't even read that. Ho Shui, if you're here, tell me, Ho Shui.
How do you even do that?
You know what? Let me jump on. I could jump on Nin Mobile News because that's where I grabbed the story from.
Because the Wii U you save to the memory, right?
Yes.
To the hard drive or whatever.
Yes.
The internal memory.
Unless you have to make a.
I mean, you could probably save it to an SD card, I guess, probably, if you wanted to.
Either an SD card or.
That's kind of a hassle, though.
You would think, right?
But whatever, if you want it, then...
The team has announced it will be able to transfer Wii U from the Wii U system to the Switch. The main loading menu in the game will have a new save point that will allow you to transfer data to your Nintendo Switch console, similar to the AirDrop works with the iOS.
So they're going to update the Wii U version.
So what happens is, I guess they're going to put an update on the Wii U, and then they'll put an update on, and it's like an AirDrop, so you'll have to like have them both running.
That's awesome.
That's pretty amazing.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what you want, actually. Like, you put that, do that. Great, thanks, done.
And it says here that
awesome.
The transfer save data option was meant to be available at launch. However, the team decided they needed to work on it more before they put it out. So that's pretty impressive.
That is really cool.
That is pretty cool.
Really is.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So for more of that stuff, go over to Nin Mobile News to see all that stuff. That's where I go. Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, Jools.
So who develops that? The story, huh?
Not the story. That's story is Telltale, and then
is that what we were talking about there?
No. I was talking about the actual game. The actual game, Minecraft. So if you created a world, like if you started building on the Wii U, then you can actually move that world over to the Switch.
Oh, okay.
Which that's impressive.
Story,
no, that's even more impressive because it's like, because if it's like if you've already started creating a world, you can actually pull. Really cool. What I would love for them to do, and I don't think it'll ever happen, but I would love if they could do that where they could transfer it from PS4 to the Switch or to whatever. Because I have one that I started when I originally started playing on the PS4.
Yeah, but Nintendo wouldn't allow that.
No, I don't think Sony would allow it. They're the ones that are like, we're not doing any cross stuff. You know, we got to stay where we are.
Nintendo doesn't like foreign bodies coming into their system.
Which shocks me, man, with the whole talk about Rocket League crossplay and Minecraft crossplay. They're going to allow people to actually play, wherever you are. That's pretty impressive.
That's true. With the Switch specifically, and hopefully from here on out, they are becoming more cool about that stuff, basically.
It seems like they're trying to, anyway.
Because we were looking, because we obviously recently just did Chicken Wiggle, we had to deal with all the guidelines for that, and we're obviously also developing different games on the Switch, so we were looking at the, networking, all the different guidelines on that, and it's completely different. We're like, wait, all of these stringent rules that are on 3DS, they're not on the Switch. Like, whoa, what? That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
So it is definitely, there are definitely, like, relaxing a little bit. Or just wising up to, well, this is reality and this is what everyone else is doing. This is what everyone wants. So stop being so, limiting. So that's cool. Okay,
so I want to jump into some stuff for you.
All right.
Because now we're going to get to the actual fun part of the
Chicken Wiggle.
Yes.
Yep. Almost need Sean here to kind of
Sean's all about that craziness. So what's the roller coaster ride been like for Chicken Wiggle?
You mean from beginning to end?
From beginning to end. What's that like? What's that feel like to, like, you start the idea? Because you kind of had a big, like, this has been things are good, and then all of a sudden, like, a little bit of a leg chop out, you know, like you make your announcement, and then the next day here comes Nintendo with Mario Maker for the 3DS, and it's like,
that really sucks.
Yeah, so what's that all been like, you know?
It's been interesting. Like, it's weird. Like, when the game started, when we first started making it, it was a really, really different game. It was a more simple game where it was really more or less like if you imagine Pushmo, but from a 2D side-scrolling kind of perspective, it's really going to be like that. You know, it's a player package more or less of Chicken Wiggle, where you can do small jumps, small attacks, but long kind of grapple up and across and stuff. Same kind of player package, but really more of a kind of a Pushmo kind of level, where you can kind of, you know, navigate the blocks. You just draw a pretty picture of whatever, navigate the blocks, get to the goal, save the level out as a QR code, done, boom. Yeah. Like, it's going to be a simple 3 to 6 month project for us making it. It's going to be great. And actually, a lot of that was based on me thinking that QR codes was going to be much simpler and easier to deal with than doing online networking, which I'm not a programmer. So to me, I'm like, I'm going to go with what I think is going to be simpler and doable rather than the crazy whole enchilada. That's the way I kind of go. Yeah. But then Matthew, who's the programmer, he, you know, investigated it, looked into it, and he's like, you know, end of the day, I mean, QR code, online stuff is more complicated, but it's not out of the question. Okay. And then before we knew it, we were like, I guess we're doing online then. Like, yeah, I guess we're doing online then. And then we're like, oh, okay, well, that changes everything. Because if you're doing QR codes, you only have so much memory that the user can save for their level data. Gotcha. Because it has to fit a little QR code. As soon as you're online, times 1,000, times, you know, whatever, it's just like, boom. You have so much more memory. So then that meant to us, like, hey, the game gets bigger and more complicated. And anyway, it kind of blew up. And because we announced it, I think, last August. Like, officially, it was August last year. We're like, hey, we're doing this game. And then, the next day, freaking Mario Maker's like, hey, what's up? And we're like, really? Seriously? That's horrible. Is this what we're doing?
Well, because you know what's funny is because you came on If We Ran Nintendo with Sean and I, and then you told us after the air, right? We go off the air, and you're like, "Are we off the air? You're not recording?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay." So you start telling us all this stuff, and you start telling us about Chicken Wiggle, and me and Sean were like so excited for it to get announced, like we were chomping at the bit, and then both of us messaged each other the next day, and we're like, "Dude, Jools has to be like so pissed." It
really sucked.
Like that would
So for me, you face a crossroads where you're like, well, is it worth even doing this game now? Is it worth continuing to make this game? Yeah. You know, you cannot go up against Mario. You will lose. Yeah. It's a fact. Yeah. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't even matter if you're Sonic. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, you know? You're going to lose against Mario. So that was a serious kind of thought. We're like, oh, man, this is unbelievable. And this is before we knew it didn't have online. It didn't have 3D. We didn't know any of this. We just knew it was coming to the 3DS. So we assumed the best. We assumed it was going to be an even better version than the Wii U on the 3DS. Yeah. Why wouldn't it be? Yeah. I don't know, but it isn't.
It's not. It's not by any stretch of imagination. It's not.
So we just under the assumption that it was going to be awesome, and we're like, oh man. And then we just, you know, and then we were like, you know what? Our game's different enough. It's a different enough game. We're not trying to be a Mario Maker. It's a different game. It's a different player package. It's a whole different experience. So we're like, you know what? Let's just go for it. And it really gave us the gumption to be like, all right, how do we differentiate it even more than Mario Maker? How do we like really push it? So we added loads more ingredients and things that you could do. We really pushed it. You know, I'm not sure if we already had them, but it certainly cemented the idea of doing the gameplay rules and all the different stuff that we do that Mario Maker doesn't do. All the unique things that multiply the amount of options the player has to be creative in various ways. So yeah, really kind of we doubled down on that, and then it just made sense for us to spend more time than we could probably afford to on making the game, to distance ourselves from the release of Mario Maker. You know? So then it's kind of a distant memory. So I mean, I was overjoyed to hear it had no online and it had no 3D in Mario Maker.
So much, man, so much. Like I even my review is out, and I told you even prior to my review being done or doing anything with it, after I had beat Chicken Wiggle, I told you this weekend, I was like, this is what Mario Maker should have been. I had said that numerous times. This is what Mario Maker should have been, and I truly believe that. And I'm not talking Mario Maker on the 3DS. I'm even talking Mario Maker like for the Wii U. That thing, like, there's so much stuff with the tools being locked behind a timer and all that. Like, you took that right out of the equation. That was awesome, number one. Number 2 was the fact of, like, you can actually put tags on your creations, so if someone's looking for something, they can find it real easily. Like, that's my biggest issue with Mario Maker is you're sitting there and it's like you have a bunch of, like, don't touch levels where you're not moving, or you got these crazy hard troll levels, and it's hard to find the really good levels in between. So I like the fact that you put all that stuff in there, and I was like, this is perfect, man. This is ideal this is what Nintendo should have done in my mind. This is what they should have done if they were doing it properly. I think it's and that's the age-old thing sometimes, like where they take 2 steps forward and 1 step back sometimes, and I felt like that was the prime example, and especially with the 3DS version. The 3DS version was like, this is going to be amazing. I can take it on the go and do levels. Yeah. Not even like, you can't even trade levels, and it's like Street Pass only, and it's like, it was so strange why they did it that way. But you know what?
So, yeah.
Sometimes they hit home runs with their oddness, and sometimes they strike out, and it's it's a chance to take. So a friend of mine, Frank Clark, he asks, we know you're bringing your awesomeness to the Switch, but can you share specifics?
I mean, I think we've already revealed that Muds obviously is running on the Switch. I sent out a photo of that.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is that actually running, or is that a Photoshop picture?
No, it's real.
That's real?
Oh, yeah, no, it's real.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, it's real. I mean, and it runs great. I mean, it's... gosh, there's very little to do. I mean, obviously, it took a lot of work on Matthew's part, really. It's more of a programming challenge than mine. It took a lot of work to get it there. But now I can't think there's much left to do with that aspect. No, that's running. I mean, that's it running on the Switch. It's a development Switch, but I swapped out my regular colorful controllers.
Okay.
Doesn't like us taking photos of the black controllers that come with the development unit because they're not available to the public, so it's just confusing. They don't want photos of that out there because they're like, oh, I want to get the black ones and all that kind of stuff. So I put the colorful ones on it, which looks better anyway.
Yeah.
So that's it. It's running, and it's it's great. It's super, dude. Oh my gosh, it looks so good on that screen. It's ridiculous. Like
that's what I'm hyped for. I can't wait for that.
When we released it on the Vita, I was like, it looks amazing. Yeah. Because obviously originally it's on the 3DS. Yeah. Great, looks awesome. Yeah. As soon as when we put it on the Vita, like, man, the blacks are black. Yeah. The colors are so vibrant. Oh my gosh, it looks just like that on the Switch. It's like, wow. That's so awesome. Good.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I mean, I love that game. So when I saw that, dude, I was in my office at work, like, fist pumping. Like, I cannot believe Jools is doing this. I mean,
the response to that tweet was insane.
Yeah,
I mean, I was like, oh, this is cute. Isn't this fun? Muds fans may get a kick out of this.
Yeah.
That might be the one tweet that had the most retweets and likes ever that I've ever done.
Crazy.
And I did not expect that.
That's amazing.
And I mean, obviously, I know it's not all because of Muds. It's because the Switch. People are really excited about the Switch. And I think, there's a decent enough number of people that like Muds as well. Until you put those two together, and it's like, yeah, all right, cool. So yeah, it was crazy exciting, and it's funny. Like a small factoid, and the location where that photo was taken is my front porch, which is the inspiration for the house that Max starts out in front of.
Get out of here, really?
Because our house has the yellow wood slat looking thing on the outside with the white pillar and stuff. That's kind of what our house looks like.
Oh, that's
awesome. So that's the patio that it's taken on, which is the inspiration. So that's anyway.
So what you're telling me is next year I need to take a ride to Texas and just drive around with my 3DS out, looking for Max's house, and I'm like, "There's Jools' house," and we'll knock on the door.
Pretty much, exactly. So super exciting. So the plan is to have that out this year.
That's awesome. That's
obviously, it's Muds, and we have a couple of extra bonus features that are going to be in that game that we'll be announcing closer to launch.
That is cool.
The game.
That is really really cool.
Very exciting.
Luke Lore here in the he's actually in the chat, but he sent me questions pre-show. He's saying, are there any plans for an easier mode in Mutant Muds?
That would be no.
I knew that was coming. You know what? If you want to,
no, there's not.
So Luke, I'm going to give you a tip. If you want to get good at Mutant Muds, play Mutant Muds Super Challenge. put about
Seriously.
a weekend or two into it,
gosh.
and I promise you, when you go back to Mutant Mudds, it's like a breeze. Yeah. And that's crazy because I struggled on Mutant Mudds, and then I played Super Challenge because I got a review code from you, and I reviewed that, and I was like literally cursing you out the whole time because I was dying over it. And that game is so hard. It is. And then he also said, this is just basically, he just wanted to give you a little bit, but he said Jools is one of the best level designers in the business. However, the aforementioned difficulty, many players may not get to experience the full depth of his games. What is his thought process behind making a game easier or harder as he creates them? That he puts,
first of all, thank you. That's very kind of you to say that.
He put PS Zeto Drifter rocks.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, and that is a consideration of mine when I make levels, and I think it's fair to say all of the levels that I've ever designed, I try to make. I would say 95% of them are fair. Mm-hmm. I don't like cheap shots. I don't like fake, oh, I gotcha kind of like. Yeah. I don't feel like it's my job to screw the player. Yeah. I can't stand playing games that do that. It's not clever. It's not entertaining. Yeah. I don't enjoy making it. I don't enjoy playing it. So I like to give the player all of the moves and all the information they need to overcome that challenge, just whether or not they can or whether they choose to do so. Yeah. It's not like, oh, I didn't know spikes were going to raise up from the floor right there. Hey, that was clever. You got me. Now I know. Yeah. I hate that. Like 1,001 spikes, I appreciate the game, but no, that's not my game. It really drives me mad. Good lord. Yeah. It's like, there's a spike there. I didn't know it. Now I'm dead. Mm-hmm. I'm going to turn you off now. So that's my take on that kind of stuff. Yeah. But no, Mudds is specifically designed as a gamer's game. It doesn't hold back. It doesn't hold your hand. I mean, it gives you the basics in level 1 to kind of show you how to play the game. But even then, there's death. You can die almost within the first few steps if you don't know what you're doing. I think the thing is there are more games out there now that are ridiculously easy than games that actually require you to actually have skill or practice or dexterity or awareness or whatever. So I'd rather make something that I enjoy playing and I enjoy making, rather than like Yoshi's Story, for example, compared to Yoshi's Island, is a joke in my opinion. Yoshi's Island is a masterpiece, wonderful game. Yoshi's Story is like, really? What is? I mean, wow! It's like there's nothing in that game, and it just becomes really, really dull. So I wouldn't want to make a game that's like that, because for me it's just not entertaining to play, and it wouldn't be entertaining for me to make. Anyway, so there's my take on like level difficulty and level design. If that kind of covers the question, I think it does.
So here's my question, because and I had said this to you again pre my review, but in the review I had said I felt like if Mutant Mudds was the Super Mario of Atooi, then I felt like Chicken Wiggle was the Yoshi. And I meant by that, and I went a little deeper into that, but my meaning behind that was Yoshi is, I feel like, two types of game. And when I say Yoshi, I mean Yoshi's Woolly World. I don't mean the earlier stuff. I mean, like, when I looked at Yoshi's Woolly World, I looked at it as there's two types of games. It's the easy blow-through, kind of for kids. You get through to the end. It's not that difficult. Yeah, it's got some challenges, but it's not super hard. But if you go for all the things, then it ramps up the difficulty. Yes, like if you're trying to find the fun letters FUN throughout that game, through Chicken Wiggle, sometimes it gets a little tricky because you're like, well, how do I get to that? And you could die in the process. And don't get me wrong, there's some levels that I died quite a few times on. Right. But I feel like there's an absolute difference between Chicken Wiggle and Mutant Mudds. Like in terms of like Chicken Wiggle's so much. It's not that it's an easy game. It's just way easier than Mudds.
Yeah, I hope so. That was my idea. That's what I was going for. Yeah. Because I know that because I knew from the beginning we were making a game that will have online levels. I knew there were going to be a wealth of impossible levels that players are going to make and upload. Yeah. I mean, without a doubt. Yeah. Because people like to make devious levels and levels that are really, really hard to challenge their friends. And can you beat my level? Can you get to the end? Yes. That's the fun, right? Yeah. And I didn't want to. I knew that was all going to be there. I didn't need to be that person. I didn't need to make those levels because I knew everyone else was going to do that. But also, I knew there was a built-in level editor, so I wanted the levels of the game for the most part to basically inform, teach, and entertain the player on here are the ingredients in the game, is what you, these are some ideas what you can, how you can use them, and how they can be used together, all that kind of stuff. It's more informative, but hopefully in a fun way.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my goal, and then Matthew Gambrell, programmer, who also did all the music in the game and sound effects, by the way, did an outstanding job.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
He was constantly harping on me for how easy the game was. I'm like, dude, I get it. I know. I know they're no challenge for you. You're breezing through them. Me too. These are super easy. I get it. Super Challenge was easy for me at one point. I don't know if it is now, but it was when I was making it.
I don't think it's easy for any. Well, when you're making it's a little different because you know where things are and you can zip through.
I know. I knew it. Exactly. It's like R-Type, and when you know where everything is, you're like, boom, you're going through it. You know. But so he was like, dude, this is so easy. This is not fun at all. I'm like, I don't think that's true, man. That's like, I think it's fun. I think it's just for a different type of person, and hopefully they can ramp up. And if they want the balls hard levels, there'll be plenty of them to play. And actually, I'll be making a bunch of them too. I mean, now that the levels are in the game and the gloves are off, and I'm just uploading stuff kind of freestyle, I'm still kind of being restrained to begin with, but eventually I'm kind of working my way up to doing levels that are like, dude, really? And that's going to be fun. You know, I'm kind of gradually getting there. So, dude, I'm even surprising myself as far as what's possible. Sorry, in the level editor. Like, we've done some testing and stuff. There's a gameplay rule called "Take Me Home."
Okay.
And what it is there's a skeleton enemy, which you probably played in the game and killed a few times. That guy, and the objective is you have to place him in the level, and and there's a tombstone, and the objective of the level is allow the enemy to get home, to walk to the tombstone, and he goes underground, and you won. Level complete. So the challenge is, can you make an interesting level where you escort the skeleton enemy to his home, safely, without you dying or without him dying or whatever. Anyway, so I made a level. I actually uploaded it yesterday, called Home 1, probably is the name of it. And it was really neat because I was like, how am I going to do this? You know, because we tested it, make sure it all works, but I hadn't made a level that used that yet. And I was like, what the hell am I going to do? And I was like, cool, I could put him in a little cage, and I put a little lock in front of him, so it's locked in the little room, and there can be a key right there. So immediately the player could let him out if you want to. But then right next to them are platforms with spikes below where you jump, they disappear, and the other one pops up. So there's like 2 gaps there where you have to jump and alternate the platforms. And then later on there's like peckables, so you have to kind of peck a route through that. And there's another part where you peck the blue and the red blocks that alternate. Anyway, whatever, all of that stuff. So it's actually a really neat level. So that was fun. So it's anyway, that was a slight detour there, but made me think of that.
So a couple of Jesse Armstrong. He just
Jesse.
entered the. You've played against him, I'm sure. His name was Little Wade when we play Splatoon.
Right.
But he just asked. He said, "Has he said if there is any hope of Chicken Wiggle on the Switch?" What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'd love for it to happen, and as usual with us, and especially now, is we just have to be careful. You know, if the game sells well on 3DS, that will encourage us to pursue it in other platforms. But I mean, it's one thing. I was thinking about this earlier, and I'll go off on a slight detour and make sure I get back on point in a minute if I forget. But I was thinking about this earlier, and like right now and up to this point for the last week has been great because we've given out codes to wonderful people like yourself and other press people, and across the board everyone's loved it. It's 8 out of 10 or above. I mean, there hasn't been one below that, which is like, wow. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of reviews coming that are way below that and think it's the worst game ever. That's fine. But so far across the board, it's 8 and above. Did you
give codes to Polygon? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I didn't. No. I don't know anyone there actually, so no, I am not on their radar.
Okay,
so no.
Gotcha.
But it's interesting. But from those people, they've all enjoyed it, which is really great. So it says to me, it's great if someone actually gets it in their hands and they play it. They may enjoy it. But how do you get it in their hands? Like you guys, you got it. You didn't have to worry about, would I buy this? That wasn't a question in your mind. You can try and imagine if you'd have bought it or not, but that you would never truly know because you were never given that choice. You like, here's the game.
Yeah.
So now the next challenge is, can you convince people to actually buy it? You know, is the marketing material that's out there, the PR and the responses, and even a little kind of page on the eShop page, is that enticing? Does that make people who would like this game if they played it, does it make them actually take that leap to buy it? So anyway, so that's the thing, that's the part that's left now. We know that people like it. If they get to play it, great. But will it sell? I have no idea.
Yeah.
So if it sells well, then we can consider a Switch version. But if it doesn't, we just have to be really smart with what we do in the future, because part of the reason that we ended Renegade Kid is because we made a few wrong turns, you know, along the way, and financially we never really got ahead, you know, always treading water the whole time.
Yeah.
And that takes the fun out of it. It's stressful.
You're chasing a paycheck at that point.
Yeah,
like
it makes game development less fun. You get more desperate things. It's not a good direction to be in. And it's, you know, it is what it is.
Well,
so I'm trying to avoid that this time.
Let me ask you a question, because this is obviously the hot topic at the moment with Switch, like with third parties bringing games to the Switch. Like, should they not? And they're all looking at it. So let's just say hypothetically that Chicken Wiggle doesn't move. It doesn't move the needle. It does okay,
right.
But it doesn't like sell like gangbusters. It doesn't explode the charts or anything like that. How much of what you're looking at do you look at it and go, well, the 3DS is kind of on the decline, and that might explain why,
totally,
as opposed to, you know what I mean, like there's that, because that's got to be a determining factor as well.
Definitely, and that's the thing. Like every time we release a game, whether it is successful or not successful, the parameters are always different. There's always a few parameters in there that make it uncomparable to the last game.
Yeah.
You know, it's never apples to apples.
Yeah.
You look at Super Challenge versus Zero Drifter. Super Challenge did not sell well.
Yeah.
On 3DS or Wii U. Zero Drifter sold quite well on 3DS, and well, especially 3DS, not so much on Wii U. I don't think anything sold very well on Wii U.
Yeah.
Unless your name was Nintendo.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, you know, Zero Drifter was released in December 5th. Everyone would tell you that would be a terrible time to release a game, because you're right in the middle of the chaos of everyone pimping out their wares.
Yeah.
And here comes little Zero Drifter, $10 game on the 3DS. Hey, how's it going? And everyone seemed to like it. You know, it sold well in December, it sold well in January, and so on. It sold really quite well.
Yeah.
It's a tiny little game. It's obviously a Metroid inspired game with really chunky NES style artwork. People seem to like it. All right, who knew? And then Super Challenge comes along, which is a really is in my opinion a refinement of MUDs, as far as we took MUDs and we refined it, polished it up, add some things, and it's I'm very proud of it. It's a great game. I'm really proud of Super Challenge. It sold a fraction of anything else we've released in the past. You know,
that blew me away.
And that was with us, me being on Treehouse Live, pimping out there, having a demo for the eShop Home at Live, whatever it was, event then. You know, we had cross-buy, we had Nintendo kind of pimping out on their directs and all the kind of rest of it. It's so much like momentum behind that game, and then it came out and we're like, just like, wow. And that came out in March, I think. Which is a great time to release a game. It's just like, what is going on? Now, I know some of the reasons it probably didn't sell. It should have said MUDs 2. It shouldn't have been Balls Hard.
Yeah.
They're two big mistakes we've made there. So there you go.
But the other thing too that I tipped my cap and it blew me away was you were one of the only ones at the time that did cross-buy. Like if you bought it on the 3DS,
one of the first.
You got it on the Wii U, and it was like, that's crazy, you know, like
it was crazy.
Where PlayStation was doing it all the time, nobody on Nintendo was doing it, you know, and it's kind of different. It's kind of cool. Hoshway says real quick. He says, I know some details. He says, I know some details can't be talked about Mutant Muds, but from a development standpoint, how easy was it to work on Mutant Muds for the Nintendo Switch Deluxe? Mutant Muds Deluxe for the Switch, and how easy has it been to develop for other platforms?
Getting over to the Switch has been relatively easy. Yeah, it's been nice. It's been smooth. I mean, I can't take any credit or even feel any of the pain because it's all on Matthew, but based on his experience with previous things, it was very smooth and pretty quick. It hasn't been an obstacle.
And that's something you had said to Sean and I, again, after the show last time. You had said that you had already talked to Matthew prior And he basically told you, like, hey, man, once we know what the specs are, this shouldn't take time at
Yeah,
all.
he already thought it would be no problem.
Yeah, he kind of knew. I mean, let's be honest. If it was running on the Wii U with no problems, this is, in theory, more powerful than the Wii U, so it should be able to go. It shouldn't be a problem.
I mean, at this point, Matthew's he's touched so many consoles. I mean, his background is way before we started working together anyway, so he was already very experienced. But even since then, he's done 3DS, he's done PC, he's done Vita, PS4, Wii U, iPhone, and a few others I probably can't even remember. So, I mean, he's touched many systems, so chances are the Switch wasn't going to be any more difficult and hopefully easier than some of those. So it's like, yeah, cool. We've done a lot of the heavy lifting already. Something that was really neat is, at the beginning of the game, there's that little sign outside your house, and on the 3DS it has the A button on there. Yeah. So it was neat that I get to do the Switch one for that, which has the 4 circles, and the bottom one is solid, the other ones are just empty. So that was neat. So I got to redo all of those for the game. That was pretty much the only work I did on the game, was like replacing those signs. It's like, yeah, Switch, baby! Putting those things in there. But it's neat, though. I love that. You jump in there and you see the sign. It's like, well, that would only exist on Switch. Yeah. It's like, that's a Switch icon.
So what you're telling me is Matthew would come in, he's pulling his hair out trying to figure something out, and you're like, stop. You're like, I'm struggling with this sign here. Would you please? You don't know what my job's like.
I'm trying to draw 4 circles, 1 solid, 3 empty. Okay, back off.
Exactly. What is the so to kind of also tip off of what Josue saying, like, how easy, like, compared to other, I don't want to say compared to other consoles, what do you feel like is the easiest to work on in terms of, like, PS4 or Xbox or any of that? Like, what has been, like, the easiest for you guys to develop?
PS4 wasn't too bad. I mean, it's a very powerful machine. I mean, the thing you have to think about is it's not only the hardware itself and getting it to do what you want it to do. There's also the submission process. When you upload the file to whoever to review it, and all the paperwork you have to fill in, and all the hoops you have to jump through to kind of get the game from, hey, we're finished, to, yay, it's on the eShop or PSN store or whatever. It's really the whole enchilada that you have to consider, because you can't do one without the other. They coexist. Yeah. Microsoft, no, that whole system is an absolute disaster. We did ATV Renegades. It was already done on the PS4. We did it in Unity. So it was done on the PS4 months and months ago, and then it came to the Xbox One version, and that took months to get it through Xbox system. It was a disaster. So it's whatever. So anyway, Xbox is the worst, hands down. Not because of the machine necessarily, it's because of the system is built for an army. It's built for a team that's like Activision or Ubisoft. It's built for an army of a game rather than 2 guys. It's just not built for indies. It's built for big. I don't know, because even if you're not using 1,000 of the switches that you're allowed to turn on and off on the Xbox, you have to touch all of them and go, nope, 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 nope. You have to touch everything to say, no, we're not going to use you. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
So anyway, PS4 wasn't too bad. Switch, Wii U was pretty good. Vita was pretty good, actually, as well. Yeah. And Switch is right in there in line with them. I think I would say Wii U and Switch probably have the edge, just because the process, when you deal with uploading your, I mean, some of it, fair enough, might be because I'm used to it. So I know what to expect. I know all the hoops to jump through. But I don't think so, though. I mean, like, when I try and compare it apples to apples, like, Nintendo's process is pretty fluid, and it's getting more fluid more streamlined as they go on. Yeah. As far as it's a lot more online now, as far as uploading the assets, such as the screenshots that are on the eShop and stuff like that. Yeah. Whereas you used to have to email them to a person and they'll process them. Now you actually
you do it yourself. Yeah.
So it's I mean, it's not quite like Steam where you're literally uploading it and it goes onto the page. You're just uploading it to a server. Yeah. In a nice interface, and then the human probably touches it somewhere, but it's just a lot nicer. Anyway, but and same with trailers and stuff as well like that. So it's quite nice. So it's getting better, which is good. So yeah, so when you consider that, as far as current gen, I mean, Switch might be the easiest as far as getting it on there. But if you're a first timer and you're just jumping into Unity and getting it going, I still might say Switch, actually, because you still have the same hurdles as far as getting Unity to make that machine do what you want it to do. It's just because it runs on PC, doesn't mean it's going to run on the PS4 or the Switch.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you make that file and get it onto that Switch or onto that PS4 or whatever, you might be like, dude, really? Why is everything like got weird jaggy stuff and everything like has like black, transparency around it? What is going on? And you have to figure out what caused that. And there's all kind of unique artifacts you may see, but no, I think Switch is it's good.
It's good. Okay. So now we're going to jump into something that's slightly, probably a little bit controversial. And
I should add, caveat to that is, I'm not a programmer. So someone is way more I am from what I just said.
So you're just like,
I just get to see it from the outside, looking in. And from that perspective, I would say the Switch seems easier. But Matthew might be like, dude, you're insane. Xbox is so easy. No, he wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
He definitely wouldn't say that. He definitely wouldn't say that.
Okay, so... probably about a month or 2 months ago, Lauren Landing had said some things about Nintendo in terms of his when it was on the Wii U. He was on Kind of Funny with Greg Miller and them guys, and he was doing an episode. I don't know if do you know what I'm talking about at all?
I do recall it, but I don't remember specifically what the controversy was. But I do remember it happening.
So what he was saying was that Nintendo is very difficult to work with, that the only one that sells games is Nintendo, not third parties, that when he asked, like, the stipulations to get promotion is very hard, like, you have to be day and date, you can't do all this stuff. My question is this, because he was taking some seriously tough shots at Nintendo in their rules and their regulations and stuff. I guess a two-part question. Has, in your time, it been difficult for you to work with Nintendo and get things done? And the second part of that question is, I would say, have you seen a change in Nintendo in terms of, like, how they were handling things with the Wii U and how they're handling things with the Switch? From the, from an insider's perspective. If you can talk about it, you might be like, I don't want to say this, but that's fine.
So, what's the first specific question?
So the first specific question is just like, he was saying that Nintendo is very difficult to work with, and they have a lot of strict rules, and that it's not fair to the developers. That it's all power played on Nintendo, and it benefits them and not you guys.
Right. I think what he might be talking about, because I don't know him personally, but I know who Lauren Landing is, and I watched some of his stuff, and I think he's a really nice guy. I should start off with. He seems like a super genuine, chill, nice person. He really does. Yeah. Seems like a genuine dude. Yeah. Someone I'd love to hang out with. He seems really genuinely a nice person. Yeah. And he's super experienced. He's made games from way back when. Yes. Has the grey hair to show it, kind of thing, to prove it, like I do, I guess. So I think a lot of that is not only also reflective of today, but also very reflective of the history from Super Nintendo to N64, GameCube, etc. And it always, Nintendo's consoles always have been the most profitable for Nintendo. Yeah. As far as software. Not just the machines themselves. Yeah. For a number of reasons. One of them being that it always own the medium in which the games are sold on, whether it be a cartridge or whatever. Like Nintendo gets a cut of that, even if it's someone else's game. So that's part of, I think, what he's talking about. And another part is they have Mario, they have Zelda, they are the best internal game development studio in the world, bar none. They make the best games as far as console manufacturers, bar none. Sony doesn't have that, Microsoft doesn't have that, etc. Sega didn't have that, So yeah, you're competing against the best developers in the world, who are also making money from the cartridges that you sell your game on. So the deck is stacked in Nintendo's favor. So when it comes to, let's say, you're trying to release, you're trying to go up against Mario, you're trying to go up against Zelda, you're trying to do something different. You're not trying to go up against them. You're trying to do something different, like a Turok, or something that Nintendo wouldn't do. Obviously, there's room for success. Acclaim or Iguana did really well with Turok. So I think there is room for it, but I think largely speaking, Nintendo does seem to always kind of own the playing field, and it is tough for third party to get in there and be successful. But it's all how you play the game. But I think at the end of the day, it is a tougher game to play in Nintendo's court than it is in Sony's court and Microsoft's court. Because Sony and Microsoft don't make games like Nintendo do. Yeah. So they're not competing in that same way as Nintendo are. Yeah. And that's a huge factor that does change the game on those different platforms. So I think that in and of itself is a huge deterrent to a lot of developers, publishers, because they're like, well, but it's, you know, whether you choose to play in that court or not. But yeah, no, I think a lot of what you said is actually absolutely true. But you have to understand why he's saying it, and he's looking at it from, I'm a businessman who makes games, I want to make as much money as possible.
Yeah.
He's probably going to have an easier time with Sony than he is like Nintendo. It's just a fact.
I think ultimately
doesn't
where
mean
he
doesn't like Nintendo.
Yeah, and I think ultimately where the comments that kind of got him in trouble were, he's made 2 comments, and one I think was totally...
Well, I know one of them. I think one of them that was taken out of context.
Yeah, it was taken out of context. The Iwata one, it was totally out of context, because I think what they were saying was, or I think what he was trying to say was, the comment was basically he believed that the Wii U killed Iwata, and I don't think he meant like it literally killed him and gave him cancer or any of that.
Upset him that it didn't do what he wanted it to do.
Yes, he was focused on it, and it was driving him crazy to get it to that point. That's what I felt like he made.
That's how I read it.
That's how I read it too, and that's how I heard it. The little I
know of Lorne from seeing him interviewed, I'm 90% convinced that's what he meant as well.
I think where he got hurt in that was.
Bad
choice of words, but I think what also hurt him was he was kind of on a roll, and Greg Miller didn't stop him to go, whoa, come on. It didn't literally kill, like, he didn't, because Greg normally, I think, would jump in there and try to get him, and nobody questioned him. They kind of let it just flow, and nobody picked up on it, I think, immediately, and I think that kind of hurt the cause a little bit, because I think a lot of... And I'm not blaming Greg Miller at all by that. I don't want anybody to think that's what I'm saying at all.
It sounds like you're blaming Greg Miller.
I probably am. No, but I'm just trying to say, like, because they kind of let that flow and didn't stop and re-question, that's what I think caused... Yes, they didn't give that chance. And it wasn't like they didn't give him a chance. They didn't stop him and bring him back and go, hey, they just let the conversation flow. Because he was on a good tangent and going, and it was like, okay, let's just let him keep going where he's going. I think the thing...
It's a real shame that happens. People, and we're seeing that a lot in our society now, and it's a damn shame. People like to demonize people. People like to throw rocks at people.
Yes.
It's a damn shame, especially when it happens to good people, which I believe Lorne Lanning is a good person. I think he's a really good person.
Yeah.
The way that exploded so quickly, it's understandable. But it's like, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Take a few minutes to do a little bit of research, check it out, see what's going on.
Yeah.
Don't have this knee-jerk reaction where you immediately say, witch, dunk him underwater. It's like, come on, settle down.
Yeah.
You know, and the bad choice of words with Iwata is certainly hit a nerve, and that, with the Nintendo community, understandably and impressively would react in such a explosive way.
Yeah, because everybody...
and that was unfortunate.
because Nintendo fans loved Iwata. They felt like he was one of us. He talked to the fans, you know what I mean? It's similar.
It was just a programmer that happened to become the head of Nintendo, you know, basically.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing.
Super nice guy,
So I think the other thing, too, is what kind of hurt Lauren in that was he came off super bitter in that conversation. Because I watched it. You know, I didn't listen, I didn't read it or anything. I didn't let it get taken out of context. Nintendo Life was the one that, like, they posted it, and it just exploded from there. But I watched it, and he comes off a little bitter in the beginning of it. And you could tell it's almost like he's got an axe to grind. And what it starts to unfold is Abe's Oddworld, Odd and Tasty, it didn't sell well on the Wii U. And what Nintendo essentially said to him was, we're not going to push it, we're not going to promote it, because you didn't bring it to us day and date. It's a 3-year-old game that was already on the PS4, it's already on the Xbox. His feeling was, hey guys, we ported this over to you, you should give us some push. You don't have anything else happening right now on the Wii U, give us a push. And ultimately Nintendo said, no, either have something specific to us that makes people come to us, or it's got to come day and date. And I know that when you looked at, I'll use SteamWorld Dig as an example. Dig hit the 3DS first, right? And then Brian took it to, I think, PS4 and then Xbox One. And then it came back to the Wii U. When he brought it back to the Wii U, it had a specific Easter egg built into that game that was different than what he had on the 3DS and different than the Sony and different than the Xbox One. So I think that's ultimately what Nintendo was trying to say to them, was like, hey, don't just give us the same game that you just dumped on that other stuff, because they already took a beating on that, where people were just bringing ports from other stuff over, and it was just hurting the cause. Like, essentially they were bringing over bad ports. I felt like a couple years old or just delayed. Like an example, the Wii U got Mass Effect 3. Meanwhile, at the same time, PS4 and Xbox One or 360 and the PS3 are getting like the trilogy remastered. Right. So it's like, well, of course people didn't buy the one; they're buying the other one. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that was dumb.
That was a lot of stuff they were doing during that time was dumb. You know, like Watch Dogs comes out, it hits the Wii U 6 to 9 months after it already went out. The other, of course, it's not going to sell. It doesn't take a rocket scientist.
Yeah. Now, but to see it from Lorne's perspective, they spent, I'm sure, at least a year probably getting the Wii U version of his game on there. I would imagine.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
But anyway, it doesn't even matter. They spent a significant amount of time to make their game, and they're really excited to get a Nintendo console, which most developers are, because that's special. There's an emotional attachment there.
Yes.
They're super excited to get a Nintendo console. They get it out there. Nintendo doesn't push it. It doesn't sell very well. So regardless of how you feel about that and whose fault it might be, blah, 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 the thing that Nintendo needs to realize is that developer may not want to do that again.
Yeah.
Because that's the result they got. They made something they were proud of. They put it on there, yay, and it didn't do very well.
Yeah.
Is the game bad? Let's say the game's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so I put a great game on and that game probably is great. I haven't played it much, but I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But let's just say it is, just for argument's sake.
Yeah.
And it got on there and it didn't sell very well. It's kind of like, well, I mean, so even though it's not Nintendo's responsibility to promote other people's games, it's also in their best interest to do it, because they make 30% of every game that's sold. They get 30% of that.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's for free.
Yeah.
And it also promotes people on their console to get that, and the developer feels good about it. I mean, it makes sense. Why wouldn't they want to push? I understand if Odyssey's coming out and Abe's coming out at the same time. Well, sorry, dude, Odyssey's going to get the top billing on Abe isn't. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But if it's an open slot where nothing else big is going on, and it's just a decision that someone made to not promote that game, yeah, that's bad form, I think.
And that's essentially what he was saying. And that's exactly. Yeah. But I think, like I said, in his tone and his demeanor, it came off, and that's where it all. Yeah, and it's it's just a matter of where it is. So I was kind of curious what you thought about that. So that's kind of neat. So what? Here, I was curious about this today. I was thinking about today. How soon or how long? Like, do you know now? Like, how Wiggle's selling, or does it take time, or how does that stuff?
I think I'll be able to see today's numbers tomorrow.
Okay.
I haven't, with the new system, I haven't really used the system. Like the last time I released a game, it was using an old system as far as the money stuff. Yeah. So I think tomorrow at some point, or during the night or whatever, I'll get the numbers from today. Tomorrow. Yeah.
So it's like Christmas. So now your true Christmas Eve is tonight, because you're just wondering.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a terrible time because and a lovely time, or depending on how they sell, I guess. And it's like this every game. I wake up. And the first thing I do, of course, is pull that up, look at it, and either it's a feeling of happiness or not, depending on what it is, or it has some hope in there or whatever. Because the thing is, it came out on Thursday, and usually like Friday, Saturday, Sunday's really good because everyone's just hanging out. But I need to buy a game. So even if it didn't do well today, it still has chance to do okay over the weekend. But usually the first day, or certainly the first weekend, but usually the first day is actually the biggest. Yeah. So if that first day isn't big, you're kind of like...
You're like, oh, man.
The curve's just going to be going down from here. It's not going to go up. So, and it's weird. I mean, it makes no sense. Like, logically, I know, like, surely Sunday could be a bigger day than today, right? And logically, yeah, of course it could. Okay. But historically, every single game you've released, biggest day is the release day, and it goes down from there. And there's a few little kind of bumps over weekends and sales and stuff, but it's like, it's steadily down. Yeah. From there. It's very odd. Human nature, I guess. I don't know. It's very strange. But so tomorrow we'll find out. No, I literally have no idea what to expect. I try to prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. So
let me ask you a question. We'll see. That's all I'm doing is ask you a question. So we'll continue the questions. How about that? What's your vibe that you have? Like, compare this to other launches. Like, where's your mind at compared to other launches?
Honestly, I have no freaking clue.
Is it because it's a new IP, or is it because...
Because like the last few games we've done have been so random, dude. Yeah. I mean, you would have thought Super Channel sold really well.
Yeah.
On the outside, I would have thought it sold really well.
Yeah.
It was promoted, I think, pretty well.
Yeah.
It scored great across the board. Loads of 9s out of 10.
Yeah.
People loved it. Yeah, it was hard, but so what?
Yeah.
That's what everyone was telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't sell shit. So, okay, I probably can't say shit on it.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. You're fine.
And it was just like, yeah, but then, like I said, like the Zero Drifter is a perfect, example where it didn't have that push, Yeah. It was like, yay, we're doing like a Metroidvania type of thing, basically. Well, no, we're just doing a Metroid. It's not even Metroidvania. We're just doing a Metroid. Check it out. And it did rather well. And it's like, and it's at Christmas time, which, usually is I don't know, whatever. But so I honestly have no idea. And the fact that the 3DS is on the way out and the Switch is on the way in is a unique factor to everything. It's in the summer, which apparently isn't a great time to release something, but oh well, whatever.
I don't know though. Well, you know what the thing is it's strange because I look at the Switch and it's like everything that's hitting the Switch right now is selling like gangbusters. Like it's just exploding. And I'll be honest with you, like
it's amazing, yeah.
Yeah, it is. And when we first had a conversation about the 3DS and Wiggle going to the 3DS, at the time 3DS was still the main focus. Like, so when you were talking, I was like, this is ideal, this is perfect, makes sense, this is going to be awesome. And then when the Switch hit, it was like, now everybody's like, well, why do I need it there? I'd rather be on the Switch. And
it happened overnight.
Yes, it was like click, and I'm like, holy crap, dude, this guy can't catch a break. But
it was wild.
But the other thing too is like when I look at with Metroid coming, I feel like it's going to get a resurgence. It's got to get a resurgence at some point.
We'll see. But Metroid's never been a big seller for them, though.
No, but I think this one looks unique, and it's really been... I don't know, man. I think people get it now, to some degree. Like, if you don't buy these games, they're not coming back for a while. You know what I mean? So, people were screaming for Metroid for how long? So, if Metroid fans don't support it, they got nobody to blame but themselves.
Yeah, at the end of the day, though, I think what people really want is they want a sequel to Super Metroid with amazing pixel art.
Yes,
I think that's what people want.
Yes.
So even though the new Metroid looks great, it's a 3D reimagining of Metroid 2, which is great. So I'm super excited about it. Yeah. But that's not what people asked for.
No.
And no one asked for this.
No, you're right.
It's going to be great. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, I'm going to buy it too.
So it doesn't actually deliver what the fans want. Yeah. So so if it doesn't do well, they'd really. I don't think it won't do well, but I don't think it'll be like, oh my gosh! I don't think it'll be like gangbusters. I think it'll do decent. But I don't think it's going to be a big spike in the Metroid kind of sales thing. I think like, yeah, they did all right.
The one thing I'll say is, Chicken Wiggle totally threw me back.
Chicken Wiggle, Chicken Wiggle.
Totally threw me right back into the 3DS. Like, I stopped carrying my Switch to work every single day because I got so hooked on this game.
You don't need that Switch thing if you got Chicken Wiggle on 3DS.
Serious. It is such a good game, man. I loved it, man. I was like, thanks, this game is so good. And I really hope it sells like gangbusters for you because I'm telling you, man, I went in, I had no expectations. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, okay, it's a Jools game. I know it'll be solid platforming. I'm ready to play it. Let me try it. And I got in and I'm like, dude, this is insane. This is really, really good. And I've been screaming from the rooftops, praising it as much as I possibly can. And I just, man, I'm like, like I said, it's the first game that actually pulled me off of my Switch. And I play my Switch all the time. I literally, for a week, never touched it. I was playing Chicken Wiggle all the time. This weekend, I'm actually going to dive back in more and just start building some levels. Because that's the one thing I did like about Mario Maker, was I would build levels like crazy. I only did the one on yours because I was like, I just got to do the level for the review so I can kind of see how it works. And I got all this stuff to do for the review and get it ready. So I'm just going to tinker with it. And I loved the control. I loved all that. I was like, but the one thing I really loved about the creator mode was it's unlike Mario Maker. It's not like your typical game. Like, you play Chicken Wiggle, the idea is you start the level ends when you save the chicken or the chick for that level. This is like, there's all these different modes. There could be a mode where you have to collect all the 100 stars or whatever they are. What do you call it?
Gems.
The gems. Because Sean was like, Sean texted me the other day. He goes, what are they called? I'm like,
I know, he jokingly was like, oh, they're jewels. Of course they are. It's on the nose. I said, yeah, you should have thought about that. That's good. That's good stuff.
That is a good
job, Sean. Good
job. Now, so I look at it and I go, this is pretty unique, and it's a good game. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what it does for people and stuff. And I will say that,
yeah, fingers crossed, man.
I will say this. I was fortunate enough to get a review code. Absolutely, by all means. This game I would have bought it hands down day one. Like, I was fully intended. I don't assume you did, because you know what though, I made it. I went and I bought the soundtrack on Bandcamp. So there you go. That's,
cool.
What I did was I only paid $10, so I feel like a cheap bastard. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go buy the other ones too. I didn't realize, that they were. Sean Capri just showed up.
Thanks, man. No, I appreciate it. It's cool.
Sean Capri just showed up in the chat and he said, "My boys, congratulations on the launch, Jools."
Thanks, man.
So, you have anything else to say before we shut it down, Jools?
I thought we had another hour.
Another hour? Oh my god.
Oh my god. No, I think that's it. I mean, and obviously, and I'm not going to talk about it much because obviously the focus is all on Chicken Wiggle, and I obviously put the picture out there about MUDs because they're the ordering things that will come. Mm-hmm. But I am working on Treasure Knots right now, which is super exciting.
I have occasionally when you start to share stuff and you put it out there. I know people are excited for it. I know they're
yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think it's good, man. I think it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a great fit for the Switch. It's gonna be nice. So I know. Anyway, but yeah, I'm working on that, which is cool. So because some people still ask me, "You still working on that?" I'm like, yeah. So it's just not a big hurrah yet because it's kind of.
Is the process you got Chicken Wiggle now, then MUDs, and then Treasure Knots, or you're not even sure if something else will hit before?
That's the order of those three games. Yeah. And. I don't know if there's anything in between those, but if they are, they'll just be things that are more technical rather than me. Like creatively, I'm not really even working on MUDs, Mm-hmm. It's now I'm on Treasure Knots full time right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be working on that until it's done. So that'd be good.
Is it? So when can we expect MUDs 3? That's what I'm curious about.
Gosh, I don't know. Well, MUDs 2, I guess, technically, right?
Yeah, but Super Challenge is basically 2, isn't it?
I mean, not really. I mean, we had plans for what a MUDs 2 would be, and Super Challenge isn't it.
Okay.
Yeah, Super Challenge is more of a Lost Levels kind of.
Okay, so it's a little bit more of the same and a little bit.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that to hit. I really can't wait for that to hit Switch, because that thing is just. I just think about it. I'm like, I play so much stuff on my Switch because of the ability to take it on the go, mm-hmm. and to play it at home. Like, I literally, I'm sitting at work today and I'm playing Splatoon on my lunch break, and it's like I never imagined that I'd be able to do that stuff. So
amazing.
Now that I'm able to think about it, hey, I just want to play some MUDs on my TV. But you know what? I'm going to keep going. I got to go to my mom's house with my wife, so I'll go over there and let them talk about whatever they're talking about while I keep playing and all that stuff.
What kind of case do you carry your stuff in? What do you have?
Okay, so I originally had the Sheikah Slate one that came with the collector's edition of Zelda.
The blue one?
No. The actual one that looks like the Sheikah Slate.
Yeah.
Then I bought this one. This one here.
Oh yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
That one I like. I had that one. Then I just recently I upgraded to this one here.
Oh,
this is the one I actually take it in.
Okay.
It's the same manufacturer as the blue one, so I like it because it's a hard.
Okay.
It's a hard shell.
Yeah.
It's really nice. So that's why I carry mine in.
Very good. And do you use a stand, or how do you view your screen, or do you do it all handheld?
When I play,
if you're playing Splatoon.
So I have. Okay, so if I'm playing here, when I'm playing on my TV, when I'm typically streaming, I have my dock here. When I'm at work, I just.
So you're playing it on the TV?
I play it streaming. When I'm streaming, I play it on the TV. Yeah, because it's plugged into my dock, and then that runs to my Elgato, and my Elgato runs to the computer, and that streams. When I play at work, what I do is I put the kickstand on, and I actually took my Joy-Con grip and left it at my desk at work. So then I'll pull the kickstand, I'll pull the Joy-Cons off, and I'll slide it in, and then I'll play that way.
Oh right, you got one there.
Yeah, because I couldn't play. Yeah. It was hard to play with the detached Joy-Cons, because I was like, if I try to move the motion, what if I move the right? Is it going to move? Do I have to move them both? Yeah,
I think Krista from Nintendo Minute does play with them detached, which is amazing. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you get used to it, that's your thing.
Yeah.
But no, I like it. Yeah, I mean, I've got my lovely colourful ones here, but yeah, I love the grip. I think the grip is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it feels super good. I love it.
The one thing I'll say though is this is my jam. Like, I gotta use this.
You know, I nearly got one the other day. It's $80, right? I nearly got one.
Yeah, they're about $80.
I looked at it for a while. I actually went back a few times and looked at the box. I'm like, I just don't know. You know what? And I like this. This is super comfy.
I'll tell you what, Jules. If you go to a Pro Controller, you will not want to use that anymore. I'm telling you, it's the truth. This thing is the most amazing controller ever. It's weighty. It's got some weight to it. It's heavy, but the sticks are perfect. Like what happens is you start to use the sticks on the Joy-Cons. They're a little like flimsy. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the problem is if you use this, it's so hard to go back to the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, you can't go back.
Me and Toby were talking this week on the podcast, and we said, you know, we were just one of the topics was like, what would you want, like some upgrades to be on the Switch if they did something, and we were like a Joy-Con Pro with. So what it would be is you'd have an actual D-pad on it, a real D-pad rather than the buttons on the left, and the sticks on the Pro controller would actually be on the Joy-Cons, and that would be I'd love that because that's the main thing. Yeah, I want something.
I could see this. I could see them doing a few different Joy-Con.
Yeah.
You know, enhancements over the years. I think it'd be hard to make this a D-pad though, just because it's buttons. You know, it's multi-purpose. You know,
I get. But our idea was like you're selling that as a niche,
specific use.
So it's a specific use, and people would get that going in. Like this is just strictly for because I hate playing. That's the sad thing. Like and this would be the truth with Mutant Mudds as well. When Mutant Mudds comes, I won't play it in handheld. I will actually play with a Pro controller because I need the D-pad. For some reason, it's just stuck in my head that when I play pixel art games, I have to have a D-pad, and it's the dumbest thing in the world. It really is.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I didn't even think about that. Maybe you've spoiled me now, but when we got Mudds running on the Switch, and I just jumped in. I'm just playing with this, and I'm like, this feels great. But now I'll probably go to it and I'm like, I can't play this anymore.
Shovel Knight, I can't play on the Joy-Cons. I have to use the Pro controller. I need the D-pad. I don't know what it is. I think it's because I grew up playing with a D-pad on all the old.
You just want that feeling.
You want that feeling to give you that flashback, I guess. Like I won't use the analog sticks.
Sorry, I'm trying to look for my case there. Sorry,
that's fine. That's no problem. Like I won't use Jules is like crawling across the floor right now.
I'm looking for my case, but I don't know where it is. We're talking about cases. Where the hell's my case gone, dude?
Your kids probably stole it on you. But for me,
I have one of them anyway.
For me,
like this one.
That's a nice one. I like that one. That's nice.
It has a place for the games.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a nice little one. It has a really cool little coin for the zipper.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's nice.
So my Mario one, right? It has like this. The Mario Kart one has this thing here. This netting thing, right? And that blocks the screen. It goes right over the screen. Then you have these little cases underneath that hold the cartridges.
Cool. Nice.
So
it has a heavier duty one as well, which has a handle and it's super hard, but I don't know where that one's gone. But it's whatever. Yeah, that one's somewhere else.
Mr. Digital over there with your digital games, what are you when it comes to buying games? Because you're a collector too, so you buy a lot of physical stuff.
I do. But what do you prefer? I definitely prefer physical because I just like to. Yeah, like you said, I'm a collector, so I like to have the boxes. There's my Switch collection so far.
Oh my god!
Not a ton, but
it's a decent amount.
I've got Isaac, I've got ARMS, I've got Mario Kart, I've got Bomberman, Splatoon 2, Zelda, Cave Story.
I have.
Is that everything? I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but it doesn't seem like everything. But whatever. Yeah. There's my Switch. And actually, I'm really getting into Vita ones recently. Can you see?
I've saw. Yeah, man, I can see. Pull them up.
There's my little Vita selection here. What? Oh, here's that little guy.
Oh, them things are so beautiful, man. They're so awesome.
Just actually speak of some classic stuff. This is incredible. This is how geeky I am. So on the Wonder Swan, if these aren't familiar with the Wonder Swan, you should look it up. It's a handheld made by Gunpei Yokai, who made the original. I'm probably butchering his name there, but he created the original Game Boy. Also helped with the original Metroid and stuff. He was an amazing guy. He left Nintendo, created a handheld called the Wonder Swan. Anyway, so it's I only got it a few years ago. I didn't get it when it was first released. Just missed it, but I did manage to pick one up. It's really
nice. That's nice.
A crystal screen one. Yeah. This is really one of the better ones you can get. There's a few variations on the color and on the screen quality. This is one of the better ones to get. Yeah. Really nice. Anyway, but got a game on there. It's unique, man. It's basically a Ghouls and Ghosts type game, specifically made for the WonderSwan. But got the Japanese one. Look at that box.
Oh, nice, nice.
Cool.
That's nice.
Anyway, and then Wonder Boy, which I love.
Yes.
Got that on this one as well. Anyway, so I got some physical of that. But anyway, but here's some of my Vitas. A few of the Vita ones. Can't see that because of the glare. But there we go. But what have we got? Got Lone Survivor. We've got Aqua Quitty, DX, Broken Age, Child of Light, Tesla Grad, Shovel Knight, Ocean Horn, and I've got a few. Shantae, because I got the fancy schmancy edition.
Yes.
In the box.
You got that, and it made me buy it. I bought it, but I bought it for the Wii U.
What a good game.
Yeah, it is a good game. I actually bought it for the Switch again.
And of course, the best games on Vita. Almost forgot.
Yes.
You see those?
I can see
them.
We
got Muds. Yes, son. Got Super Challenge. Yes, son. And Zeo Drifter.
Nice. Okay, so I'm going to get yelled at for this, okay?
Right.
Sean bought one of those.
One of which?
I forget which one.
One of the Vita games?
Yeah, I think it was the Vita or the PS4. But I think he bought Mutant Muds. He had it shipped to my house, and I was supposed to ship it to you, so you could sign it. So,
yeah,
and I still haven't done that, so I have to do that. He's probably watching now, like screaming.
That's right. I remember him mentioning that. Now.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'll get with you this week, and I'll get your address, and then I'll send it out. After the show, I'll get your address, and then I'll ship it out to you. But he's probably like,
while we're showing off our toys. So this was an old My Nintendo reward from years back.
Oh my lord!
2012. Oh my gosh! Wow. So this is a calendar. And it has a bunch of little postcards in there for different years.
Nice. Wow. Months, yeah, that's awesome.
It's really neat. Anyway, so I found that the other day, and that was obviously sitting in front of these delicious things that I got recently.
Oh, those are nice. Those are nice.
Sorry. As we're showing off.
Okay, I'm going to make you jealous.
You know what? And this is look at that from My Nintendo World.
I had that, and I gave it away.
Oh my gilly gosh.
Yeah, that thing is awesome. That thing is awesome.
It's a free thing.
Yeah, man. That's amazing.
I couldn't believe it.
Rybo Flavor was saying, like, he can't really tell, but is that a Virtual Boy back there? And it is. It is Rybo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on one second, Jules. I'm going to time out. I'm going to get up for a second. I want to grab something out of my display case because I want to show you. I think since we're doing this now, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you something.
While you're doing that, I'll show you all my little arcade cabinet.
There you
my
go.
Switch.
There you go. I'll be right back.
Switch is inside here. So this is a little arcade machine with actually my Switch is inside it, which is amazing. So it slides in. This is the Switch without the thingies attached. Just slide it right in if you can. And the nice thing is you can still plug the power cord underneath. And then it doesn't have a roof, so you can turn the power on and off and hit the volume and stuff. Anyway, that's how I play and lose at Splatoon all the time, because I have it in that little thing. But I love it. Look at that. How cool is that? I need to personalize this. I might get some mud decals or something cool on there to make it an Atooi arcade machine or something. $15 from Amazon. That thing is so awesome. You just put it together. Oh my gosh, I love it. How's it going?
Okay. So any video game fan has got to have a copy.
Here we go.
Of E.T. Atari.
Well, you're off screen, so I can.
Oh really?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I have it.
Okay.
Nice, man.
So I have the Atari cartridge. I had to get it because when I was a kid, I only paid $4.99 for it. So there you go. But when I was a kid, I loved this game. Right. But it has such history because it's always revered as the game that killed the video game industry and the collapse. But then this is the nice one. My mom bought me this for Christmas a couple years ago. This was a Club Nintendo reward, only in Japan. You could only get it in Japan.
What? How did she get it?
She ordered it off Amazon. Somebody in Japan was selling it. So it's a gold Mario statue.
Wow.
You see it?
Oh my god, I love the little plaque underneath it.
The plaque here underneath. I'll pull the statue out.
That is so cool, dude. Wow.
It is. This thing is. It's heavy as hell too. It's not real gold, but it's
right, it's solid. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's.
That is so cool.
That is amazing.
Wow, dude. That is
nice.
You
know what? Let me do this. Here we go. Let's do this. Let me jump into.
That is nice, dude.
Let me jump into my camera settings and.
Can you change the focus, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I can change the focus on it. So,
wow.
There you go. It's a little better now, but it's the glare, the shine, makes it a little.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is nice, dude. Wow.
But that's probably my favorite piece that I own.
Right. That is awesome.
Of all of them, that's so.
Wow.
Now that we basically like measured our junk to see.
I know we've got our penises out. We're really more like admiring each other's junk more than comparing.
That's all we're doing. That's all.
Do you like? Do you know what this little guy is? Do you know who he is?
Let me see. Oh, dude.
Totoro.
I know it, but I can't think of it. My mind just went blank. What's it from?
Totoro?
Oh yeah.
I actually have the movie over there somewhere. Oh wait. Oh no, I put it upstairs. The Studio Ghibli.
Okay. I have I also have because
this little guy, and this I only got this because the DS game is awesome. The console game is terrible. Little Dark Void guy. Look at that. Little Dark Void guy.
That's cool.
I actually had the big statue up there.
That's amazing.
They bought it from Capcom, and it came with this for free. I didn't even know this was in it. And
Get out of here! Get out of here!
The big one up there, which is like a foot tall, and you can turn a light on. His little thing on the back all lights up and stuff. Amazing. Anyway, but this is the tiny one. I'm like, how adorable is that? It has like smoke, with the smoke from down on the jetpack and stuff.
Oh yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
What up?
That's amazing.
What up? How's it going?
So, Josue said he wants your shirt. Where can people buy your shirt?
Where have I made it? Where is it? I can probably. I wonder if I already have it up. I won't do it on the website because it's going to change the lighting and stuff. But if it's not already available, I'll make sure it is. I think it was. I don't know. I'm not sure where it was now. You know, I may have ordered this from a different place than you can have those shops. You know, where you can buy some from. Anyway, I'll figure it out.
Josue asked, "Is Treasure Knots scheduled for release this year?"
It is not.
It is not. So probably 2019 is what we're looking at. So Jools isn't going to make any more video games till 2019.
That's right. Let's just say yes to that. It's temporary expectations.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, 2019.
2019. Right. There you go. This way you have no.
Exactly.
In your mind, you have 2 years pretty much
elbow room to get it out there.
The end, and it's the end of 2019. It's like the last day of December. It's like December 31st, 2019. There you go.
Exactly.
My wife said she has no video game collections, only Back to the Future, which she does. She collects Back to the Future
stuff. The movies or games?
Or
the
memorabilia? Memorabilia from the movies. This woman's insane. She can quote lines like it's nobody's business.
Those movies, man, are amazing. Spielberg is such an amazing creator.
They were. It blows me away that she's able to just off the top of her head, and it annoys me because I'm just like, please stop. I don't want. I want to watch the movie. I don't want to hear you like saying the lines at the same time they say them.
That's a good set of movies to be quoting from.
But she nails it. She nails it. Dude. She has Here's a funny story. So she got the Pepsi, the Pepsi from Back to the Future 2 when it went up. So Pepsi made I think 5,000 of them or
Pepsi
something.
Zero or whatever. The Pepsi Tab or I don't know.
It was. What the hell was it, Tony? It was She knows. It's shaped like the Pepsi from the movie. So in Back to the Future 2, Marty goes in, he orders a Pepsi.
When he goes to the future?
Yeah, when he goes to the future, they give him a Pepsi, and it's in a weird can. Pepsi Perfect is what it was called.
Pepsi Perfect.
See, I knew she would know. She's got it down. So
it's a futuristic Pepsi. Okay.
So what the Pepsi did was Pepsi took it and recreated the bottle and sold 5,000 of them. And
wow, and she has one?
And she has one. And that's Amazon amazing. Put it up. Well, here's what happened. They made 5,000. Amazon sold them. It crashed the website. Everything went haywire, like you'd expect.
When did this happen? Because Amazon's only been around for 10 years.
2015 it just happened.
Oh, okay.
Like when it was the 30th anniversary.
It's been around for 10 years, I'm talking about.
Yeah, when it was the 30th anniversary of Back to the Future. That's when they put it out.
Gotcha.
It was actually because it was all about because this was the year that Marty McFly was supposed to have come to the future.
Yeah.
And I think they sold it on the actual day. I think they sold it on Back to the Future Day.
That's awesome.
But it blew out, crashed the website. So what happens is she's so pissed that she didn't get one. Like, she's flipping out. She didn't get it. Miserable day. She hates everybody. She's like, so... And I'm like, would you relax? Like, calm down. Her mom goes and buys her one. I'm not even going to tell you what she paid for it. She bought it on eBay. Paid through the nose for this thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The next week, they put them up again, and I buy one for $20. And
they're identical.
What happened was Pepsi put them back out.
Yeah.
They put them out. They said, you know what? We're going to put out another batch of 5,000.
Amazing.
They're going to go up next week. Here you go. And it was bang. God. And I got one. I got one for $20. Her mom was so mad. I was like, I don't know, man. I'll tell you. Yeah, October 21st. October 21st, 2015 is when it was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Speaking of value, you know Michael Burns over at Invisible Gamer. He used to work at IGN. Do you know him? He's a good guy.
Sounds
He's a journalist.
Familiar.
Michael Burns. He used to be at IGN. Invisible Gamer is his website. Anyway, good guy.
Yes.
He was telling me, you know, SNES games, like rare old SNES games, like stuff. And yeah, he was telling me like Zero, one of the games I worked on back in the day, is one of the heavies as far as like what it's valued at now, as far as buying.
Get
it's in
out
like
of
the
here.
$100 and something range. And I'm like, what? That's crazy.
And do you have it?
Right there.
Do you really?
Here. Right here.
What the hell, Jules? You're over here.
I freaking worked and I was the lead artist. Of course I have it.
You're over here making video games, and you have games back there worth more than the game you just made, right? Is what you're telling me?
Totally. And,
I also have a Mario. I have a Japanese version of Mario Paint in my shelf over there.
Right.
And I have Final Fantasy V, the Japanese, for the Super Famicom.
I like getting the Japanese ones. What did I get? I got a Japanese version of something recently. What was it now? Was it you who was recently saying... Oh, no, it might have been Perry, who was playing Gargoyle's Quest. I think it was Perry, wasn't it?
Yeah. It wasn't me. You're confused. Well, you confused me with all your flirtations with your journalists.
Yeah. you know Perry, right? Perry plays with us, right? On the...
No, I don't.
Isn't he? I thought Perry was the one who played with us on Perry from Talk Nintendo, the podcast.
Oh, Patrick. That's Talk Nintendo. No. I'm thinking about Nintendo Talk. That's Patrick. No, that might be where you're confusing the two, because Nintendo Talk is a friend of mine that does a YouTube channel, and he was there. So you might have thought that was Perry. But
I don't know. It's hard. Anyway,
there's so many.
I have a Japanese version of Gargoyle's Quest on. Is that Game Boy or is that? That might be the Wonder Swan as well. Anyway, yeah. But I love the Japanese box. I want to take one out of there, but I'm not going to. It's just going to make things crash. So I'm not even going to do it. It's going to make things fall over.
Okay, so
cool.
we're gonna shut it down.
Shutting it down, man. Shutting it down.
Jules, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you and all that good stuff and pimp your stuff?
I think it's written right down there. If I'm lucky, I'm pointing at where it is right there.
You are.
I don't know.
It is there.
But Jools Watsham, so JOOLSWATSHAM, the easiest spelling name in the world. On everything, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. I use the same thing everywhere because it's unique. Even though it's difficult to spell, at least it's unique. So
yes.
But yeah, so mainly on Twitter. Showing photos of various gaming things and talking about stuff.
Very true.
Trying to avoid politics and controversial topics because that just ends badly.
That always ends badly. It always ends badly. And it is not easy right now.
Like last year or 2 years ago, I started to get into chats on there, and I'm like, what am I doing?
It's never good.
This is dumb.
It's never good.
Regular communication through Twitter is hard enough, let alone actually having a serious conversation.
Especially when you only have 140 characters, and it's like you're not really getting what you want to say out there.
Not advised.
Just ask Colin Moriarty how that works out. It's not, I feel so bad for him. I do. I love Colin. He
holds his own very well. I like Colin.
Although, man, I tell you what, it worked out for him in spades, man. He is killing it now.
You know what I like about him is he's grounded.
Yes.
He has his opinion. He says it. He's not a rude person. Even though some people think he is. He has his opinion and he says it. And if you disagree with him, he's like, cool, no worries. And if you question him on his opinion, he'll articulate what he can.
Yeah.
He's a reasonable person. I like Conan a lot.
Yeah.
I thought he got a lot of flack, unnecessarily, unwarranted. But like you just said, it works out well for him, so good for him. He's a good person, and he deserves all the goodness he can get.
I agree.
He's a good guy.
I agree.
I think he has a good moral standing, and he's very strong on standing his ground. So good for him.
I agree.
And he actually can talk the talk. And back
That's
it
true.
up, so.
That's very true. He's a smart guy, man, and that
he is a smart.
It shows in what he does.
Yeah.
But so that is all. Thank you guys for watching. You can follow me at Nintendo Gurus on Twitter. You're at the YouTube channel, so if you're not a subscriber, just click subscribe. That's a cool thing.
Click that button.
Yeah, click that.
You
button.
can see us play Splatoon 2.
Oh my god, all the time, all the time. It's all the time.
Fun times.
That is all. Peace out, Preston.